right, we'll talk about the CAG. All right, but I think we're good to go here. So let's go ahead and get started. Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for July 3rd, 2019. We got 10 minutes now until the close. All right, SPY is up 0.72, 0.73 now. Q's 0.69. Okay, ever since we got the break of the hourly downtrend, SPY was the first one to do it. And we've been in an uptrend ever since, and we've been bullish ever since, just maintaining the bullish bias, right? Coming into today, we said not that much different happened yesterday. We're still going to use this bottom here on the Qs as our line in the sand. As long as 188.38 holds, then we will be bullish, and you can see that the bullishness continues here on the Qs and SPY. So going into Friday now, we'll see if we get something interesting on the job number to kind of change things. But that's new highs on the SPY and new highs on the Qs. Okay, so we expected new highs as long as the hourly uptrend was maintained, and that's what we got today. Okay, so that bullish bias is going to remain on Friday. We may get something that will cause a bit of a trend change. Right now on the Qs and SPY, we're going to be using 188.66 on the Qs, and this unfortunately has a bad tick, but it's going to be around this 295 area on the SPY here. Okay. All right. So yeah, not too much different here on the Qs and SPY, just continuing the uptrend as we expected. Nothing to change there. All right. Very, very interesting topic. Probably what you're here to see. How to chase price. Now, let me first say that typically I don't advise chasing price. If you miss the play, getting in late, what happens is you end up messing with the reward to risk for the play. So if you're getting in too late, now the stop size is bigger, may not have enough room to target. But I want to use this CAG specifically as an example because it's what we played today and kind of what we had to, I wouldn't say really chase, but how we had to kind of get back in. Okay, so let's start with the CAG gap here. Was doing a sell setup and then gapped over the sell setup. All right, and then I like this void here on the daily. It's even more apparent here on the hourly here. So I want to get as much of this void, close this gap, and then see how much we want to go from there. Okay. So let's start with how the CAG looked on the 1 minute. Okay, the 1 minute was basing at the highs here, setting up a breakout, and then we got this volume spike here and a red bar, and then the negation of it. So the negation of a bearish bar to me is bullish. All right, so then that gave us our first play on the CAG over 55. Okay, I think these were 53. I saw a couple cents spread, so I said go ahead and add that in there. 15-cent stop over 55. We got triggered in right there. Okay, so we were in. Target 1 was going to be 27.75, and then target 2 was 27.95. The 95 is coming from essentially the closure of this gap. The low here is 99. I just want to see as we approach the closing of that gap, we should look to kind of protect some. Okay, so back to the 1 minute here. All right, so now we got in it. Some nice follow through initially, and I usually don't allow myself to get too impacted by the market, but in this case I did. I think a little bit overreacted here. So you can see I saw this double bottom here. That's 27.49 there, 27.49 there, right? And here's what the Qs look like right after the first 20 minutes. After the first 20 minutes of the Qs, you can see the Qs started to come in. So I wanted to protect. Okay, so I wanted to protect. And that was the reason for the trail. I thought if this is going to keep going, this should hold, or the Qs might drag it down. All right, we also did get very close to our target 1, went to 73. We were looking for at least 75. Okay, then it came back in and tagged us out. Okay, hit 47. That means I'm out. Okay, because we trailed to 49. So that brings us to our first way to kind of get back in. Okay, if the bar that trails you out, that stops you out, immediately doesn't get followed through, immediately reverses, right, then you probably are dealing with a shakeout. Okay, so I told the room, you can replay the CAG as a 2 minute buy setup. Here it was on the 2 minute. Okay, so it wasn't an official call. It's just noticing that the bar that got us out immediately turned into a bottoming tail. Okay, so if you're going to play it as a 2-minute buy setup, you play it over this bar, over 56, with a stop at the bottom. Okay, so that's the first method. Okay, it's not really chasing, it's if you get shaken out and you want to get back in, right? We already know that the play has already started, the move has gone in, but we got shaken out now, and it didn't take out the stop. Okay, that's important too. It did not take out the stop. Okay, so if you want to get back in on right over the bar, the shakeout bar, you can get back in. There's a decent setup there. Okay, so that was the CAG. So that's method number one. If you get shaken out, how to get back in. Okay, but what if you didn't play the first one, you didn't see this one? Okay, then what do? Right? And really, the only thing that we can do is look for the next setup. Okay, and so then that's where the next play came from. Okay, 27.75. Again, giving it a little bit of room. This went to 73. Wanted to make sure that it triggers, and then the stop is at 55. Okay, so basically what we have here is a 2-minute base breakout. Okay, 2-minute base breakout. There's your base right there. Okay, there's your base, and then we're breaking out of this base. Now, one more thing about if you get in late. What if you just saw this call come up and it's already at like 27.80, okay? And you said, oh, it's already a few cents late. Should I play it? That's going to happen too, right? Where we just see it a little bit late, okay? In that case, what you want to do is decide, is there enough reward to risk still? Because if I say I get in at 27.80 and the stop is 27.55, so I'm looking at a 25-cent stop, can I expect a decent reward to risk? And I would say in this case, right, we're talking about getting in it right here. I would say, yeah, there's still a good amount of room, right? So you only want to do it if the reward still makes sense, okay? So that'll happen too, especially on things on an uptick, because you may not get it right as it triggered. You have to wait for the uptick to happen. Okay, so you may be looking at a much later price, right? So then you have to decide, is it worth it to still play? And I would say in the case of the CAG, it is, okay? I think generally when it comes to getting shaken out or missing a play, go ahead and wait for the next genuine setup. Like if I hadn't played this before, I'm not replaying it out of revenge or anything like that. This is in my book, according to my training plan, a good play. You have a rising 20 here. You've got nice consolidation. You've got void above. You're showing relative strength to the market. Market was strong, but this wasn't even coming off the highs where the market was doing a pullback, right? So this was a good all-around play. As much as possible, your replays or you're missing out on a play and you want to get in should be limited to this, okay? This play here, that 2-minute bicep, I'm saying the shakeout bar and follow through gets you in at a better price, but we also have to acknowledge that we are most likely at our most vulnerable, right? Because we just maybe took a small loss on this or a partial loss, and we're thinking, uh-oh, I'm the victim of a shakeout and I don't want to have this go without me. So this can be a little bit more tricky and a little bit more propensity to mess with us emotionally, psychologically, because we're basically trying to get back in right as we got out, right? As opposed to letting the kind of play refresh and set up the next play, okay? So I hope that makes sense. And as far as, if the play is already underway, but there's a lot of room still, then I think it's okay to get it late. Typically, you don't want to, okay? Generally, it's better not to, but if it has room, right, then you can go for it. I know generally we say don't chase price, which I would agree, it's a good general rule, but if it sets up again, that's the ideal scenario. Now, of course, sometimes you may not get another setup, or at least another setup that is good enough, okay? So, even I'll use this CAG as an example. We went over it last week as well because we're looking to short it, and I ended up missing this play here because I wanted to see just a little bit, like 1-2 bars more consolidation and have it break down, right? And it just went. Did it set up another setup before falling? what was that? Basically, yeah, over a dollar. It did not. Okay, it was like $1.20 that it fell right there, just in that span of uh, 30, 40 minutes. So, I wanted to see, I saw that we had 3 bars here. If I could get 4, maybe 5, 5 of course would be great. Then I'll play it. Because you can see kind of what the setup looked like when we played the CAG on this breakout. How many bars of consolidation do we get? The more bars, the better, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, a dozen almost, right? If we start from here, all through this here, equal highs, equal lows, nice consolidation, 20 MA caught up, nice breakout there. So, would it have been better? Of course, not to have got shaken out here. Was I a little bit overreacting to the market? Right? Yeah, I was. But this is the kind of thing now you can imagine. We don't replay it. We are frustrated, or we felt like, we're the victim here, that the market was out to get us, somebody was hunting our stops. Those kind of things, right, are going to cause you to miss out on the play entirely. But as long as you know what you're looking for to get back in, right, then that gave us the chance to have a nice play here. So we did get to our target 1 here. We took another piece here, right, and I told him just take it here as we were getting into the close. And right before coming on, I said go ahead and just exit out of there. So nice play on the CAG, right? This was one that was good for an all-day hold, even though today was a shortened day, but not a problem. Okay, so hopefully that gave you some ideas on how you want to deal with that. I know it's tough. It's probably my biggest weakness is feeling like I miss out on stuff. Whenever I see something that I pass on, even if I felt like I had a good reason, it still bothers me a little bit. If I felt like I got out of something early and it keeps going, that bothers me as well. And if you guys are in the room, because I'm pretty candid with you guys when I'm on the mic. But this is one way that I would recommend, is to wait for that next play to set up. If you think you can maintain control, be objective about your entries, then the shakeout bar negation is good too. All right. So just a couple ways here so that we can reduce some of the missing out of plays if we get shaken out. Okay. All right, guys. So that's going to do it for today's market wrap. Tomorrow we are off in the observance of July 4th, so happy 4th of July. I will speak to you guys on Friday afternoon, okay? We'll pick back up on Friday and then head right into the weekend, okay? So hope you have a great holiday tomorrow, and then enjoy your day off, and we will be back at it for a full day on Friday, okay? Have a good rest of the day.